true desire in the heart. That itch that you have to be whatever it is you want to be, that itch, that desire for good is God's proof to you, sent already to indicate that it's yours. You already have it. Claim it.
Disciplined desire, whether one can curb it, is a deeper question altogether, which is, what do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like?
Most people allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed.
If you have this burning desire inside of you, and you'll know what that feels like if you have it, you just need to go full force, block out all the negativity and everything else that is around you telling you that you can't do it.
What do you believe you've been destined to do? What talents, skills, giftings, and abilities do you possess to support your desire to do it?
You could literally go accomplish anything in your life if you have this extraordinary desire to achieve them.
Here's something I do know. Sometimes desire waits for a trigger, waits for something to happen. Who knows what the happening may be? A song, the lyrics, a movie, the dialogue, a seminar, a sermon, a book, an experience, confrontation with an enemy. Whatever the experience it is, it's so valuable.
You have to electrify the desire that you have.
Only you know what you want. Listen to me. Only you know what you are capable of doing. Only you know what you dream about. Only you know what the next level is for you. If you want to be what you want to be, have what you want to have, do what you want to do, man, you got to have that desire.
You against you. I'm letting you know that you got to make the opportunity happen. You got to be fired up. You got to be hungry for it. You got to have the desire to push yourself.
It comes from not talking about I want it. It comes from having this desire, knowing that I got an opportunity. Every day I wake up, I got a chance to make my dreams become reality.
If you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
What do we want to feel? What would satisfy us as being the meaning behind this world? It's very commonly said that the root of most human unhappiness is the sense that one's life has no meaning. It's so often, you know, that we don't follow our ideas and our desires through. Most of the things that we want very fervently are things that we've only half glimpsed. Our ideals are very often suggestions, hints, and we don't know really exactly what we mean when we think about it. But there is this obscure sense in which we feel that life ought to have significance. An individual feels that his life amounts to something when he belongs and fits in with the execution of some group enterprise. He feels he belongs in a plan. And this too seems to give people a sense of great satisfaction. Why is it that a plan, why is it that fellowship with other people gives the sense of meaning? Does it come down perhaps to another sense of meaning? It does seem to me that there's a sense in which we often use the word significance, where the word seems to be chosen quite naturally, and yet at the same time it's not quite the right word. We say, for example, often of music, that we feel it to be significant, when just at the same time we don't mean that it expresses some particular kind of concretely realizable emotion, and certainly it's not imitating the noises of nature. It is felt to be significant, not because it means something other than itself, but because it is so satisfying as it is.
The fact that you're still alive and still on this earth, even though it's been challenging and rough, and sometimes you get discouraged and uninspired to keep going. God has a plan. You will grow through what you go through.
Don't be sad, be grateful. Don't dwell, do. Don't complain, create. We got this.
As long as there's breath in my lungs, there's hope in our hearts, and giving up's not an option. You and I and we, no matter what your unique situation, your storm, your struggle, your trauma, your abuse, your wounds, your scars, no matter what they are, you are not a product of your past. You are not a product of your environment or your current unique situation, but you are always a product of how do we navigate through our storm.
And so we're all waiting for perfect. It's an illusion that will never come to you, and it's an excuse to never show up and play. Your story is not meant to be your fortress. Your story is meant to be your fuel.
You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
You got to block out all of the noise around you that's going to tell you can't do it. Just believe that you can.
Tell yourself, I am more than my circumstances. I am more than my demons. I am great, and I will give my gift to the world. Because this is what I was born to do.
Go get it, son. Go get it. Be sweet. 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 Go get it, son.
If you're going to see it, if you're going to see breakthrough, then you are going to have to be okay with the process that is required.
The one thing you need to do to go where you've never gone before, to have what you've never had before, is to change the way you think.
You're at the edge, watching someone else live, wondering what it's going to be like when you jump without ever jumping. And I'm just here to tell you, jump.
Believe that you can. Believe it's possible for you to have it.
Don't lay on your back. Anything that comes your way, you got to be prepared to accept the challenge and go through it. And stop thinking about the negative. Stop talking about the negative. Ask yourself, what would amazing look like for you?
As long as that heart is pumping blood, you're not dead yet. They haven't put rose petals on your box yet. Make sure every breath you take counts for something.
Continue to pursue purpose. And we all got a purpose. Every one of you in this room, we're born to not just exist, but to experience life. Every one of you in this room, you were born to leave your fingerprints on history.
Everything I ever did, the thing that I heard out of people's mouth was, that's impossible. That can't be done. Or no. Imagine, you go from studio executive to studio executive, from agent to agent, from manager to manager, and they all said exactly the same thing. Now that's very encouraging, isn't it? But you know something? I didn't give a shit. Because I believed that I can be a leading man. I believed that I could be another Clint Eastwood, or another Burt Reynolds, or another Warren Beatty, or whatever those characters were, Charles Bronson and so on. I believed that I could be those people. I said, there's enough room on that ladder that I can fit up there. And I looked back again and learned from what I learned in sports. In my case, in bodybuilding. It's all about the hard work that you put in. I said to myself, in bodybuilding, I worked out 5-6 hours a day. I'm going to do the same thing now for acting. So whenever someone said to me, it can't be done, I heard it can be done. When they said no, I heard yes. And when they said it's impossible, I heard it is possible. Because I am a strong believer. Well, I'm gonna be the one, I said to myself, I'm gonna do it. Maybe it has never been done before. That's perfectly fine with me. But I'm gonna do it. And I did not listen to the naysayers. So people always ask me, when they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they said, why is it that you're working out so hard? 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face. The others are working out just as hard as you do, and they look sour in the face. Why is that? And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for gold. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title. So every rep that I do gets me closer to accomplishing that goal, to make this goal, this vision turn into reality. Every single set that I do, every repetition, every weight that I lift will get me a step closer to turn this goal into reality. So I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound squat. I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound bench press. I couldn't wait to do another 2,000 reps of sit-ups. I couldn't wait for the next exercise, for the next half hour of posing and all the kind of things that you have to do to be a champion. The very body that they said can never be sold because the time is wrong. A few years later, I'm doing Conan the Barbarian, and it was the #1 hit at the box office when it came out in the summer of '82. Think about that. And the director says, if we wouldn't have had his body, we would have had to build one. I mean, think about it. And at the end, I was just not visualizing just my exercise, but I was really lifting the trophy over my head. That's what I was thinking about. And with the age of 20, I went to London and I won the Mr. Universe contest as the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And it was because I had a goal. Because I believed.
Oh, and she had the goods on me, too. She knew all my little peccadillos. People call these things imperfections, but they're not. Oh, that's the good stuff. You're not perfect, sport. And let me save you the suspense. This girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal.
We don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, life is an act of faith. The moment you take a step, you do so on an act of faith because you don't know that the floor is not going to give under your feet. The moment you take a journey, what an act of faith. Any kind of undertaking in relationship, what an act of faith. You've given yourself up. This is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender. See, and love is an act of surrender to another person. Total abandonment. I give myself to you. That's quite mad, because you see, it's letting things get out of control.
If I worked on the light, it would take care of the rest. You bring the light in, and that takes away the darkness. And that's love. Love is ultimately light. When you feel love, you feel light. There's a lightness inside. It's a fundamental truth.
Love is the strongest force ever. And so I will greet this day with love in my heart. I will greet this day with love in my heart, and I will overcome evil.
Self-love is the cure to self-hate. I don't love me until you tell me that you love me. I don't like me until you tell me that you like me. Most of the people out here are running around empty. They have no sense of self, no sense of self-love. When I say self-love, it has nothing to do with celebrity, money, materialistic things, and all of the things that your negative mind could probably go to. I love me independent of you loving me.
Before you can love someone regardless of their religious beliefs or their political beliefs or their economic status, whatever those things are, you gotta not only like you, but you gotta love you, and you gotta fall madly in love with you.
We were two completely separate people on two completely separate individual journeys. My happiness was my responsibility. And we decided that we were going to find our individual, internal, private, separate joy. And then we were going to present ourselves to the relationship and to each other already happy. Place the responsibility for your happiness on yourself.
I invested too much. I invested too much to quit. I made too many sacrifices to give up. I paid too much. I stood before your mama and your dad and said, till death do us part. If you leave, you will not leave me over the phone or through a letter. You will look me in my face and tell me you gone. After I bring you the roses.
One of the worst phrases we've ever created was, you gotta see it to believe it. It's a phrase created by cynical people with small minds that have not got any hope that things can get better. Can you imagine what the world would be like if everyone believed that this was true? We'd have no cars, no planes, no light in the dark. We'd never have computers or mobile phones. We'd never climb mountains, break records, or go to the moon. I used to believe this rubbish. People have it completely the wrong way round. Nothing can be achieved, conceived until first it's believed. You have to believe it to see it. If there's something that you want to do with your life, that thing deep inside you that whispers day and night, it will always just be an idea until you choose to believe it's possible. You have to believe it so much that you already think it's happened. You have to walk like it's there, talk like it's there, believe it's there. People are going to think you're mad. They're going to look at you and think you're insane. They're going to tell you like, it ain't possible, it's risky, you shouldn't do it, be careful, stick to what you know, stick to what you do. F that. Follow your dreams. These people have to see to believe it, but you need to believe it to see it. I was in a tough position, 19 years old, kid on the way, earning £27 a day. I could have chose to focus on all the problems I was going to face, all the pain. Instead, I decided to change my stars. I decided to say enough was enough and focus on ways to change them. It's easy to say that, I'll try that thing tomorrow, or I'll do that tomorrow. One day I'll get in shape. One day I'll tell that person how I feel. One day I'll start that business. One day I'll leave this job. One day I'll leave this abusive relationship. We've all had times where we find ourselves constantly telling ourselves that one day we'll do that thing. The problem is, we look at all these opportunities around us and we say they're risky. What you've got to realise is life in itself is risky. It ain't important how long you live, what's important is how you live. When life gets on top of you and you feel like it's all becoming too much, it's easy to let things spiral out of control. I've been there. That place where you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Things don't go your way, that promotion at work you don't get, you don't make the team, that person you asked out said no, your business is struggling, the bills are piling up. We all go through dark times. My advice to you is to focus on finding the light. If you spend all your time focusing on all the problems in the world and all the problems in your life, you ain't going to be happy. It's easy in the world that we live in today to be consumed by all the media-filled negativity in the world. You can't turn on the TV without seeing some negative story, all the bad. Everyone has problems. The difference between the people who are happy and the people that ain't is that the people that are happy choose to focus on the solutions to the problems they face rather than the problems themselves. You always have a choice. Amazing things happen when you believe you have something. Your brain actively goes out to make it happen. It starts to notice little subtle opportunities that you would have otherwise deleted because it knows it's got a job to do to get you what you want. It's all about perspective. constantly tell yourself how much worse things could be, and you can actually be thankful for the way you've got things at the moment. Your world and your life can truly be anything you make it, but you've got to make it. Don't take it lightly. Start building discipline into your life by not taking the easy way out. Most of us are told growing up that we can be anything we want to be. And most of us hear it, but we don't listen. We don't believe it. I'm here to tell you today that it ain't a load of rubbish. It's true. You can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to do, see what you want to see. It's all in your power and no one else's. But you got to believe it. If you believe it, you can achieve it, baby. Whatever it is, I used to believe to my core that I was going to run my own company and make more money than I currently did and have a family and be happy. Even when I was dead broke, skint as a bean, I would never worry because I believed with everything in me that I could change it. You got to stare all that in the face and say, you can't beat me, I'm too strong. What most people do is they roll over, but you can't. It ain't going to be easy. Most of the time you're going to feel like there's no way out, that you can't do it. But listen to me when I say there is always hope. You have to take control and attack it head on. Because as soon as you do this, just once, just like a muscle lifting weights, you become stronger. You become comfortable being uncomfortable. And before you know it, you become a machine, and nothing on the outside can affect you because your mind is trying to beat it down. Never run. Always fight. Take control of your life and you'll change it forever. Go get in shape. Go tell that person how you feel. Go start that business. Go leave that job. Go leave that abusive relationship. Deep down you know you should do it, but you've got to risk it all. Not doing it definitely guarantees one thing, that you'll get to the end of your life and regret that you didn't even try. You can either be a victim of your life or the master of it, but the choice is always yours. Go out and get it. Don't take no for an answer. If you get knocked down, get back up again. You can never fail if you never give in. Stop being a victim. Stop letting life push you around and start fighting back. Because the minute you tell yourself that you control this is the minute you can start to change it. It all starts the moment you take responsibility and say to yourself, I can make out of this life what I want, and no one and nothing is going to shape my destiny but me. I'm here to tell you today that you can have anything you want, be anyone you want, believe that you can do it and work hard to get it, and it's yours. Never wait and see to believe it. Believe it and you'll see it.
And we use then this word significance. So often, in those moments when our impetuous seeking for fulfillment cools down, and we give ourselves a little space to watch things, as if they were worth watching, ordinary things. And in those moments when our inner turmoil has really quietened, we find significance in things that we wouldn't expect to find significant at all. I mean, this is, after all, the art of those photographers who have such genius in turning the camera towards such things as peeling paint on an old door, or mud and sand and stones on a dirt road, and showing us there that if we look at it in a certain way, those things are significant. But we can't say significant of what so much as significant of themselves. Or perhaps significance then is the quality of a state of mind in which we notice that we're overlooking the significance of the world by our constant quest for it later. All this language is, of course, quite naturally vague and imprecise, because I think the wrong word is used. And yet not entirely the wrong word, because, as I said, it comes so naturally to us. But it certainly is an attribute, not only of those moments in which we are tranquil inside, but also of moments of deep spiritual experience, that in those moments, the significance of the world seems to be the world. Seems to be what is going on now. And we don't look any further. The scheme of things seems to justify itself at every moment of its unfoldment. Again, the character of this feeling is, again, something that is fulfilled in itself. To dance is not to be go.
Reason for that is that there has never been another mic hardware same situation. Don't be shy. Put something in the comments. Attachment is what you'll use to screw in your microphone to a game capture web software work. You'll just Wave 3 microphone. I can also select the different software proprietary, so you can't plug in some other microphone like the HyperX or the Snowball or the Yeti and think that you'll be able to use these mixer features. It won't work. You'll just open the program and it'll ask you to either connect the Wave 1 or Wave 3 Elgato microphones. When you have the Wavelink mic plugged in, you're gonna first see a bunch of different tracks that may not be relevant to you. So if they aren't, you can hit that down arrow next to the track icon at the top there, and you can just select remove input if you do not want it. The one track everybody's gonna be utilizing is the Wave 3 track, or the Wave 1 if you have that. And to configure this, just click on that drop down arrow again. I'll see the name, my input level to see if I'm peaking or not, the gain, so if I increase the gain, it's gonna peak a lot more. The output volume is what I would hear through my output device, so if I just get out of that, see my monitor mix here, I have it selected to the Wave 3 microphone. I can also select the built-in output as well, which I can plug in headphones to my computer if I wanted to instead of the microphone. Speaking of which, why don't I just plug in my headphones so I can hear everything coming through the mic. Below the output volume, you're gonna have your mic PC mix, and that's gonna control how much audio you hear from, let's say, your gameplay and your computer, desktop audio, compared to the zero latency audio from the microphone when you're speaking into it. So if I bring this down a little bit, I can actually hear myself right now, and it's kind of weird. I don't like hearing myself. So however how you set that, you'll hear either more or less of your zero latency speech into the microphone. With that being said, on the Wave 3 microphone, you can actually control the gain, output volume, and the mic PC mix on the mic itself. So all you need to do is actually click the button that's on the microphone, and then you'll be able to switch between the gain and the output volume and the mic PC mix. Below those options, you have the Enhance Low Cut Filter, which essentially will remove any sort of noise that is close by, like fans and air conditioners, droning sounds. Below that, fine, very cool features, but let's put them to the test. Let's start off by removing clip guard. Prepare for the cringe. Clip guard off. Clip guard back on. It's back on. How does it sound? Does it sound better? Am I still peaking? Do I sound good? Please tell me I sound good. I want to sound good for my viewers, please. How about the Enhanced Low Cut Filter? I have it turned off because my place is pretty quiet, but let's make it a little bit noisy. Let's turn up the fans. Okay, turning the air conditioner on. Let's open my door. Okay, these are the loudest sounds that could possibly just pollute my commentary audio. Pretty loud without the low cut filter. Let's put it on and see what it sounds like. Any better? Do you guys hear all the droning sounds and cars? the air conditioner. What's the comparison here? Editing the video right now, I didn't hear a difference using the low cut filter. Sound the same to me. But the clip guard feature, that was solid. In addition to the microphone track, you can add additional applications to pull audio from. So to do that, all you need to do is go to one of your empty channel slots and select the plus button, and then just select the application you want to pull audio from. Once you do that, you'll have a track appear. So I have ones for Spotify, Google Chrome, and the game capture card. The dial on the left will control the volume of the audio I'll hear to my monitor mix. And then the dial on the right will control the volume of audio that's heard through my stream, which will be configured as its own audio output source within something like Streamlabs OBS, etc. The link icon up here will unlock and link the faders to where I want my audio to be. So if
Hi guys, in this video I am going to show you how to fix microphones not working in Windows 10. So let's move to the method. What you have to do is to just click on this start button. Just click on start button. Now click on this gear shaped icon to open settings panel. Once the settings panels open up, what you need to do is to just scroll and click on privacy. There is one option named privacy. Click on privacy. Now look in the left menu. There is one option saying microphone. Just click on microphone. Now make sure this option allow apps to access your microphone. This is turned on. Okay, just if it is turned off on your PC, just turn it on. Okay, and also look closely if the app with which you are using microphone and you are unable to use microphone.
Oh, bro. Oh, I'm so retarded, chat. It's working. Oh, shit, dude, it worked. It fucking worked. No fucking way. You guys hear me now, right? Oh, my God, dude. Oh, we figured it out. Oh, my God. Let me show you, boys. Let me show you, boys. Okay. Oh, my fucking God. Oh, shit. This fucking YouTube video, boys. This fucking YouTube video. Right here. What was it? Microphone on. My microphone was off. Holy shit. Good way to start the stream. Alright. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Alright. How's the audio, by the way? What if I lower it? I feel like... Oh, I'm not peaking now. If I lower it, I'm not peaking. What do you guys think? Okay, this is 1. This is how loud 1 is. This is how loud 2 is. This is how loud 3 is. Let's go up to 5. 5? Ooh, I think I might be speaking louder too because we're going up. And why was 5 a flight of 7? Because it's 6, 9, 7, and 8.
right? Something like that. All right, anyway. And this is max. This is all the way up there. A bit quiet for me. Audio fine. Okay, well, fuck it. I'll leave it at 4. Oh, okay. All right, step 1 completed. Now for the good shit. Notepad. All right, audio issues, go away. Bye-bye. All right. So, where do we begin? How to be successful, right? How to... Oh, bigger font. Let's go 36. How to be successful. Oh, isn't this a fun topic, huh? This is a fun topic. Because there's 2 ways we're going to approach this one. No, what? Fuck off, bro. There's got to be a shortcut for this, right? All right, fuck it. Everything's going to be this big. Fuck it. Fuck it. All right, how to be successful. Be lucky. Okay, Kappa. All right, let me have a sip of my tea, get the brain juices flowing. So there's going to be 2 ways we're going to approach this topic. One is going to be to give actual advice, right? To give actual, like, this is how you do it. If you want to be successful and you don't want to understand how to be successful, I'm going to give you advice, right? Do these things and your life should be successful, right? There are always circumstances where it won't be, right? But generally speaking, if you do these things and you're honest about doing them, and you understand why you're doing them, right? That's the second part of it, the understanding part that we're going to talk about. But we're going to give the advice first, right? Do this, you're going to be successful, right? Or at least a very high chance of success, right? And then the second part of it is understanding how that process works, right? How do these activities yield better results, right? Like how, when you're like growing something, let's say you're growing a garden or something, right? You have 2 different types of soils, right? You use both different types of soils, right? And this can be the analogy of doing the activities to be successful, like working out every day, right? Doing that, right? That's one kind of soil, and the other soil doesn't work out every day, right? You plant both of those soils, and you see what grows in the soil, right? So that's part of the process of understanding, you know, what is it? What is in the soil, right? What are you growing in, right? And that can be nutrients as well, like the food you eat and all that other stuff, right? So that's one of the things, how to be successful. Take care of your diet, right? So the diet, right? Exercise. What else? What else do you have to do to be successful? Spend time with yourself, right? What is it? Meditate or some shit like that? Meditate half an hour a day. All right, let me close the window. So let's write these things down, okay? Luck shouldn't be an excuse, but it is a factor though. Yeah, but you can't control luck, bro. All right, so we're going to talk about things what we can control, right? Because if you're, you know, if you're born into success, like let's say your father is like, you know, the king of England or whatever, right? You kind of, you know, you're successful, right? But that's one kind of success. That's like the materialistic success, right? And that's one of the things you have to understand, or at least on the other path of success, right? Understanding how the success works. You have to understand that success does not come from achieving whatever that fantasy is, right? Whether you're, you know, the son of a king or you got to be lucky to be successful. You can be successful doing exactly what you're doing right now, right? And that's where I think the real juice is at, right? Understanding that success doesn't have to come from you achieving whatever your goal is, right? It could come from right now. Right? Why wait for success? Fuck that, bro. After I achieve the goal, I'll be successful. Bro, that's some dumb shit. Like, what if the goal is like 3 months long or 6 months or like 1 month or 5 days or whatever, however long the goal is? It's always in the future, bro. Fuck the future. Talk about now, right now. Be successful right fucking now. Right? That's how you be successful, right? You don't say, oh, in the future I'll be successful. Because then you won't do it, right? It's in the future. Fuck it. Eventually you'll get there. All right? You'll tell yourself whatever excuse you need to tell in order not to do anything right now. But that's on the dark side, right? That's the side I walked. Now, important thing is, though, what do you do to be successful? All right? So let's do some arrows here. Oh, how do I do a vertical arrow? All right, let's do this. This is so ghetto. This is so fucking ghetto. I love it. All right, boom, and... so ghetto. Looking, it's not even straight. Ah, fuck it. All right, whatever. It'll work. It'll work, chat. Don't worry. All right, let's do one down here. So let's do a V. Oh, not copy paste. A V. Not cap V either. All right, and let's do arrow. The shaft of the arrow. Right, so so scuffed, bro. All right, let's at least line them up with the top one, right? Okay, now they're both equally scuffed. All right, how to be successful. All right, so one path. One path is the path of things you can do, right? Examples. No. Well, how do I word this? Things to do? Activities? No. So we have the two sides, right? We have the one side where you understand the process of how success works, right? And then the other side is things you can do to be successful, or that will give you a very high chance of being successful. Things to do. Very vague. Yeah, I want to say activities, but common paths to success. We could say that. Common paths to success. Principles. Let's do principles. Principles. And understanding. Can you guys hear that, by the way? Is the mic picking up that ringing noise? Because my laundry's done. Let me go flip it. We call the bottom one black box in programming. You don't need to know how it works as long as you can use it. Yeah, that's why I'm doing two paths of how to be successful. Because one path is doing it, right? And one path is conceptualizing it and understanding that. And everybody's path is different, right? Some people, they just need to know the steps to do it, right? They're very good at following orders. Like if you went to the military, right? And you went to boot camp, right? You are fucking drilled into your fucking head. Follow the motherfucker's orders. Doesn't matter what he says, you do it. You just do it, right? So if you got that kind of personality where you just fucking do it, right? You have that like kind of discipline already ingrained into you, right? Whatever you want to call it. I call it discipline. Could be anything. Well, not anything, but it's you know how to put your face on the grindstone, right? So if you want steps how to be successful, you do these things, and eventually, it's like planting the seeds, right? Right. Eventually, those seeds will turn into, beautiful trees, and that's success, right? But you got to do these things in order to plant the seeds, because the tree is not going to grow if you never plant the seeds, right? So that's why the examples like working out, you work out every day. That's you planting the seed every day, right? And eventually that seed is going to, become a tree, right? But if you stop planting trees or planting seeds, eventually those trees grow old and they die, right? Maybe they get chopped down, whatever, natural disaster, right? This is all, in your imagination, right? But if you continuously keep working out, keep exercising, keep having a good diet, keep your mental health in shape as well, right? If you keep those things all up, right, then you're going to be living in paradise, right? Because the trees are going to be constantly growing and you're constantly replanting the trees as they die off, right? So even if they do die off, right, you have enough to like sustain a forest, sustain a successful life, whatever you want to call it. So there's that. So if you got that discipline, right, you do these things, you'll be successful, right? So that's going to be one path we're going to take to success. But then the other path is, what if you even know the information, right? You know what to do, right? You know that these things will achieve success, but then you don't do it, right? What happens if you don't do it? For me, right? I knew the principles, right? I grew up in a very, in a family that, built those principles into me, right? But I never understood them, right? I never understood them. Just they gave me orders and I didn't follow the orders, right? I didn't have that like mentality of following orders, right? That discipline, putting my face on the grindstone, whatever it is. So how I found success is to understand how it works, right? Understand the mechanics, right? Understand how all the cogs, all the little like things work behind the scenes, right? And understanding that, I was more willing, right? Now that I'm understanding how it works, I was more willing to at least try the principles, right? To discipline myself, to give myself orders and follow those orders, do what is better for me, right? Even though sometimes I wouldn't want to do it, right? Because that's putting your face on the grindstone and accepting that, yes, these things suck. Working out every day does suck, right? But you're doing it for the greater good, right? So that's how you can push yourself through it. So there's that path as well, the understanding path, right? So that's how we're gonna do the YouTube video. I don't know. Are we just going to use this? We're probably just going to use this. This seems pretty easy, right? Just boom. This is like a 5-second frame on the introduction. All right. So let's go up then. Principles. So what are some common things of success? If you weren't taught discipline, I wasn't. It's fucking hard to learn. Yeah, definitely is. Learning in general is pretty hard. Right? Because you got to break your habits. Especially when it comes to discipline, right? Because discipline is the opposite of your current habit. Right? So you're trying to learn something that is the opposite of what you currently are. Whereas if you learn like something else, like you're just learning new information, there's no two forces opposing each other, right? Like, let's say you learn, I don't know, maybe a different language, right? Like, yeah, there's a little conflict there because you already have, your previous language, so you think in that way, and then you got to translate it in your head. So it's a little difficult, but it's not the complete polar opposite of your current, like, attitude. It's not like you had to, this is what it's like. It's like trying to learn a new language while forgetting the one you already know at the same time. That's what it's like learning discipline, right? Because if you're a lazy motherfucker and you want to become disciplined, you got to like kind of like dig out that laziness, right? And it takes time, right? It's not going to happen overnight, right? Especially, depending on where you are in your life, right? If you've been living a very lazy life for a long time, right? You got to take a long time to dig all that shit out, right? Sometimes, some people take shorter, right? It's always different for the person, but generally speaking, right? The longer you spend in laziness, the harder it's going to be the change. But yeah. So yeah, that's why it's very hard, because it's like trying to learn a new language while, forgetting your language you already know. That's why it's hard to break habits. But yeah, that's why it takes time, and right, and that's how eventually you get there, right? Anyway. All right. So let's actually do some principles here. So what are some principles? What are some things you can do to be successful? All right, number one. Now, this is not in like a, number one, like this is the most important thing you got to do. This is just what's coming to my mind in order. So number one, the first thing that came in order, I'm thinking about like as soon as I wake up, what do I do? What have I learned? What have I understood to do that will lead to success, right? So I'm thinking about that right now. And immediately what comes to mind is no technology, right? Just kind of exist and be with yourself, right? Don't have anything distract you as soon as you wake up, right? Because I've definitely lived both lives, right? I lived a life where I would immediately wake up, go to my computer, go to my phone, go to something, distraction, boom, I'm like in this world already. Whereas sometimes I wake up, I'm just kind of there and I just let myself exist for a little while, let myself wake up, kind of just be there with myself. I don't really have any thoughts either. Sometimes I would think, sometimes I wouldn't. But being with yourself when you wake up, I think that is a good way to start the day. And it doesn't have to be long, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, you know what? I want to get up and do something, right? Just don't let it consume you, right? Like go do, something good is working out. And I guess there are fringe cases where working out can be bad, but generally speaking, working out, do a little bit of movement, exercise in the morning when you wake up. That's a good thing to do. So let's do number one. Spend time away from technology. No, spend time with yourself when you wake up. Spend time with yourself when you wake up. All right. Should we do brackets? I feel like I want to do brackets. Brackets, examples. What is it, EG? Is it like .eg? No, that's like Evil Geniuses. How do you do abbreviation of example? It's EG. EG, okay. Lowercase. All right, EG. Mindfulness. Exercise. What else is there? Exercise, mindfulness. Exercise, mindfulness. Meditation is the same thing as mindfulness. Same shit. But that's not for me. This YouTube video is for you guys, so even though it's the same shit for me, maybe it's different shit for somebody else, so we'll put that in there. What else is there? So I wake up, what do I do? Oh, cleaning. That's another good thing. You can do cleaning. Make this a little bigger. Move it here. Can we put the camera on top? Good. Camera on top. Okay, how does that look on stream? Looks kind of scuffed, bro. I'm going to be honest. Kind of looks scuffed. Whatever. Good enough. Fuck it. Good enough for me. So, spend time with yourself. Yep. All right, so that's the first thing you do to be successful, right? What are the practical things, principles of being successful? Let's go on to number two. Let's leave a space. Number two. So let's say we wake up, right? Or I wake up, right? Boom. I'm awake, spend time with myself. What do I want to do then? Generally, having a good diet. That's the next thing I want to do, right? I fasted, overnight. I didn't eat anything. My body wants breakfast, wants something to eat. All right, so let's do diet. Now, I am not an expert in diet, so I don't really know what to say here, except eat good. But good is different for everybody, right? This is where you got to be like self-aware of your own body's limitations, right? Some people, dairy, right? For me, I've noticed dairy as well. What else is there? Greasy food, right? Greasy food really fucks with me. What else does my body not like? Ooh, spices. Spices. My body does not like spices, greasy food, and dairy. Right? Those things are difficult for my body to handle, right? And that's what I've learned. That's for me, right? For you, it's going to be completely different. And there might be similarities. You might find one of the three might be different. They might all be the same. But for you, you got to figure that out yourself, right? So diet. Yeah, I'm not an expert on the field, so I would suggest looking elsewhere for that. And, you know, find what works for you, right? I think the most important thing here is to listen to your own body, right? Because even if you follow somebody else's diet, it may not work for you, right? Because you're your own unique individual. So this is where you got to, like, you know, kind of follow your, kind of, maybe you can even do a journal, right? A food journal, like fucking write down everything you eat, right? And then write down, you know, how your body reacted to that food, right? And then that's how you can kind of systematically improve. So let's do that. Let's do that. Keep our... I don't want to call it a diet, because diet involves it being temporary. This is kind of trying to be a change of lifestyle, right? Because this is how you be successful, right? You got to, like, literally change the way you live your life, right? So if you can continue doing these activities for a prolonged amount of time, right, you will be successful. So it's not a diet. It's not a temporary thing. It's not like you eat this food, right, for X amount of time, you become successful, and then you can go back to your old diet, right, the old food you ate. No, right? That's not going to lead to success. It's going to lead to, you know, more stress, because you got to worry about your body, or your body is reacting poorly to the food inside of you, right? It's like putting shitty fuel inside of your car, right? You want to have good fuel for your car so your car can run as efficiently as possible. So fuel your... curate the nutrients. How do you spell nutrients, boys? Nutrition? No, not nutrition. Nutrients.
Nutrition. Nutrient.
All right, nutrients. Curate the nutrients. Curate the nutrients that go into your body. E.g. So E.g., what does this look like, right? Food journal. Food diary? Create a food diary. Create a food diary. What else? What is another example? What is another way that you can curate the nutrients that go into your body? You guys got anything? Eggs are easy, a good place to start. Yeah, eggs are generally good. But, you know, that also depends on the person, right? And you can also overdo it. What are we doing over here? We're learning or teaching how to be successful. Just as the title says, how to be successful. That's what we're doing. Right now we're doing the principles of how to be successful, right? So the steps or the things that if you do them, right, will lead to success, right? And then afterwards, we're going to do understanding. We're going to understand how do these principles, right? How do they lead to success? Why do they lead to success? What is success in the first place, right? Understanding that, you know, that broad concept of success. All right. Curate the nutrients that go into your body, e.g. create a food diary. What else? Yeah, definitely you can do that. Yeah, and there's also that, right? Like maybe you're pretty shitty at cooking, right? There's also that problem, right? Maybe you don't know how to cook, right? The food that is gonna be good for your body, right? And I think that's what I went through as well, right? Because I learned how to cook, right? And as I learned how to cook, I would, you know, my cooking would shift to what my body would like, to what I would want to eat, right? However, there can be sometimes what you cook is not what your body wants, right? Because I've kind of like developed that internal compass of just cooking what my body can handle, right? But sometimes you cook for your mind, right? You're like, oh fuck, I really want to have sweets. I really want to have sweets, right? And that's not good for my body, but my mind wants the fucking sugar, bro. This is a walnut pound cake, bro. Fuck me. It's really good. But this is not good for my diet. This is pretty bad for my diet, right? That's not going to be good for being successful. And that's why I found success through understanding it, right? Because I don't have to follow these principles every day, right? I can understand that sometimes I'm not going to plant the seeds to be successful. And that's okay, right? That's the price I'm willing to accept. I will allow myself to eat that guilt-free, right? Because before I would eat it guilty, right? And then that would cause other problems. But now, I understand that eating that is not going to be good for finding success or having, you know, a good diet. It's going to have consequences, right? And I'm willing to accept those consequences, right? And the consequences, those consequences are going to have on my body, my mind, and all that shit, right? But yeah, sometimes you got to do it, right? Because sometimes you got to, it's a balance, right? You can't just live this life every day because, you know, eventually you're going to burn out, right? You got to find that balance, right? But that's why you should, you know, at least try these things, right? Because when you try them, right, maybe you won't burn out. Maybe you'll like, you know what, I like doing these things every day. I like this routine, right? Some people do find joy in that, right? Right? They go to the gym every day. They do, you know, their nutrients, like whatever. They find joy in that, right? They find that rhythm, that pattern, whatever, good, right? For me, it was too much, right? I did this, you know, every day for, I don't know, I think for a summer, right? And I'm like, fuck, bro. After the summer, I'm like, fuck it, I'm done, right? But I still do it, right? I still do these things, but I don't do it every day, right? Maybe I'll do it like 4 or 5 days a week or 3 days. You know, it always varies. It goes up and down, right? Depending on other factors of my life, right? But I'm like aware of it, right? I'm aware of it. Like, let's try to stay on this path, and I allow myself to go off the path sometimes because, you know, sometimes you gotta do the wrong thing. You gotta make the stupid decision in life, and that's okay. Because maybe it's not even a stupid decision, boys. Maybe that's just the path you gotta walk in order to understand before you can start applying the rules. You got to understand that walking on the other path is, you know, not as good, right? And you got to go through that experience, right? You got to literally live your life in like the shittiest way possible, right? Because once you live the other side of life, you're like, oh wow, I like this other side of life, right? I like feeling this way more than I like feeling the way I do on this side, where I'm just not trying, right? And eventually I feel like everybody learns that lesson. You know, some people never do. Some people stay on that side indefinitely, right? And, you know, if you want to choose to live your life that way, there's nothing wrong with that as well. But I think what you should be aware is of the consequences, right? Because some people get stuck on that side and they're not even aware, right? Their life is ruined and they, you know, they blame something else, right? They don't change their own lives. You know, they blame an external source. Right, and then when you blame an external source, you kind of give up control, right? Then you can't do anything about it. Because once you give up, right, once you blame something else, you can't control something else. It's just not possible. The only thing you can control is yourself, right? So if you don't want to improve yourself, then fuck it, right? You're not going to get anywhere. What brought this on? Just a change of pace? Yeah, I presume you're meaning like all the mental health stuff I'm talking about, I guess. I still don't know what to call this. Mexercise? I thought about calling it Mexercise, but apparently it's already taken, like the Mexercise brand or whatever, but whatever, I can still take it. But instead of it being like mental exercise, right? Because exercise, M in front of it, mental exercise, right? Instead what they did me exercise, right? M-E exercise. I'm like, this is so shit. Me exercise. Fucking Mexercise. All right, anyway. Where was I? So, other principles we can do to be successful. Curate the nutrients that go into your body. Create a food diary. What else can we do for diet? Diet. Create the nutrients that go into your body. Create a food diary. What else? Create a food diary. Yeah, this is where I do do some do research. Do research. I'm not an expert. All right, let's leave the I'm not an expert part out. Yeah, I'm not an expert part out. No need to shit on myself. Okay. Create a food diary. Do research. Now, what else? What other things can we do? Food. Spirit. 3. What else? What's the third thing? Value. I feel like saying value. Value? Yeah. So what do I mean by value? I mean by value, do something that has some sort of tangible value in the real world, right? Because first thing you do, right, you spend time with your spirit, right, whatever, your soul, just with yourself. All right, just kind of do whatever, do one of these things. These are all generally pretty good for your spirit. And then food, right, the fuel that goes into your body. Curate the fuel. Let's not do nutrients. Nutrients is too smart. Let's do curate. Curate the fuel that goes into your body, e.g. create a food diary. Do let's put do research in front. Do research, create a food diary, value. All right, so this is like materialistic things. Like if you have a job, go to your job, do your job, do a good job. Work, job's done. fucking Warcraft 3, bro. God, I missed that game. Bro, I tried to play Warcraft 3 recently, and they fucked it up. They broke it. It's so sad. I can't even play custom games anymore. Boys, look at this pomegranate. My lord. Look at that. Ooh. Curate the food that goes into your body, boys. Fruits. That's what we'll write. Fuck the research part. How do I say this? Because everybody's diet is unique. But there are patterns. So this is essentially eat healthier. One form or another of meditation, mindfulness. Value, add, contribute to your goals. E.g., are they lined up? They look lined up to me. Go to work. Work on your Work on your profession. Improve in your profession. No, fuck that. Yeah, fucking improve. Improve in your profession. What else? Contribute to your goals. Improve in your profession. What's another example of contributing to your goals? Allocate time. Make time for your goals. Make time? Make time for your projects. What else is here? Contribute to your goals. Value. Contribute. You want to improve. You want to do something. You want to add some sort of value. Right? You want to constantly improving, getting better. So improve. Right. Make time for your projects. What else is there? Contribute to your goals, improve your profession, make time for your projects. Yeah, I can't think of anything else right now. You guys think of anything? What is an example of me or you guys making progress towards one of your goals? Now, I don't want an actual example like, oh, today I went outside to get some vitamin D, so I have vitamins in my system, right? Not shit like that. Polishing my skills, but that falls under improve your profession. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, that's why I can't think of anything. I can think of other ways to phrase these ideas, right, of improving and finding time for your projects. But yeah, I can't think of any other examples right now. But that's okay. Move on to the next one. Maybe we'll think of them as we go along. So number 4 is community. Communication. Communication is also pretty important, but that follows under improving your profession, right? Fuck, what was I? What was it? Communication? No. Community. Right? Community is the people around you, essentially. The people you live with, right? The people important in your life. Family. So quality time with the people in your life, quality time with the people in your life. Okay? Family, friends, neighbors, anyone. Family, friends, neighbors, anyone. All right, so let's this is a good guideline, but let's also give examples of what quality time is, right? Because there's people that spend time together, but they don't actually spend time together, right? Right? It's almost like everybody's on autopilot together, right? They're not actually engaged with the individual, right? They're just kind of existing together, right? They're on autopilot together. They're kind of just going through life together, right? That is like that has its benefits, right? That is not a bad thing, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is spending like time together, either like getting to know each other, right? Sharing stories, like how was your day, talking about your day, right? Being fully present with the individual you're talking with, right? Not being like caught up like, oh fuck, I have to work. You're thinking about work, what you got to do for work and all that shit while your friend is talking, right? You're not really listening to them, etc., etc. So being present, let's do that. Quality time. No. Being present with the people in your life. That's another secret to success, right? Because then you can let go of all your problems, right? So this is going to be the understanding part, but I guess I'm going to say it now because I'm just thinking about it. But to understand how this community aspect of how this will be or will lead you to success, this lets you leave everything behind, right? Because you cannot be in the present if you're thinking about work or thinking about some other, dumb shit, right? If you're thinking about anything, if you're doing anything but listening to the person, then you're not there with them, right? But if you can do that, if you can be present with the people in your life, right? Give them your full undivided attention, that teaches you, right? It's like a byproduct of doing that, right? If you're able to do that, right? Force yourself to do it. One of the byproducts of being able to do that is that you'll be able to let go of whatever you're thinking about, right? But if you're not able to let go of what you're thinking about, that means you're not doing it correctly, right? So eventually, right, if you talk with people long enough, right, and you want to become good at talking with people, you got to be fully present and listen to what they're talking about, right? No multitasking what you got to do for a job, like, oh, I got to do this, right, while also talking to the person. Sure, you might, still be good at communicating with the person. You might get by in life, right? But you will not learn the lesson of dropping whatever you're thinking about, just letting go of whatever you're thinking about and changing to listening to that person fully, right? Not worrying about your own life, right? So if you are able to learn that lesson of be fully present with the individuals you're talking with, right? That will teach you. It's kind of like another form of meditation, right? Because what meditation does is like you shut off your brain, right? You don't worry about whatever your brain is thinking about. Same with being fully present with an individual, right? If you're fully present with them, you don't worry about whatever your brain's thinking about, right? So it's very good with dealing with stress, right? Because then you spend less time thinking about your worries in life. So that's the understanding part. That's how community works. Being present with the people you talk in your life. I feel like I should write that down before I forget it. Ah, fuck it. I got it in video form. God, I love pomegranate, boys. It's only this time of year, too, as well. Would you count playing a competitive game as meditation? Since you got to shut off your brain to play at a high level? No. I wouldn't call it meditation. Do you want to know why? Because the goal, I think this is where you might have gotten confused, Imperial. What meditation does is you empty your mind from everything. Right? What you described is you're playing a video game, right? You can't focus on any of your problems, right? You got to be focused on the game in order to compete at your highest level. I guess in a way it is a kind of like a meditation, but at the same time, no, I guess it is a form of meditation. Fuck, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe it is a form of meditation. I guess so, yeah. Because what you're doing is essentially you meditate, right? You focus on something. You focus on your breath. You focus on anything you want to focus on, right? And then eventually, right, you reach like this no mind state, right, where your mind has accumulated or not accumulated. What's it called? It's gotten used to focusing on your breath that eventually it just gets into that autopilot mode, and then you're kind of just existing there. Same with a video game, right? If you're able to fully focus on the game, right, then that's kind of the same thing, right? Because if you focus on the game long enough, eventually you're going to reach that like flow state where you're kind of just existing. And that's the same as meditation. So I guess on that level, they are the same. But for some reason, I didn't feel like it was meditation. And I'm going to try to understand why I think it wasn't meditation. Because I think that's a lesson I could learn as well. So thank you, Imperial Astra. So why did I think it wasn't meditation? And then why did I change my mind? So initially I thought it didn't feel right because there's stimulus from the video game. So your mind isn't really off. It feels like it's on autopilot. But it's not on autopilot because you are fully present in the video game because you want to perform at the highest level. So if you don't feel like you're on autopilot, then it could be considered meditation or a form of meditation. Whereas if you are on autopilot, then it definitely wouldn't be meditation because then it's just a stimulus that you're reacting to. You know, you've built up enough muscle memory, you know, you just know how the game works, right? And you've gotten so good at that repetition that you're not like fully there, but you're on autopilot. But that's not what your question said. So after rereading your question, it made sense to me because, you know, you mentioned high level and competitive, right? At that point, you're not really autopiloting. Those are like, you know, the best in the world, right? You don't become the best in the world if you're not fully there. Well, that's not true. Some people do have like just enough talent. But even then, I think those people that have that talent, that have that muscle memory built in, I think they're also still there though. But anyway, good. I like that tangent. That was a nice tangent, Astra. So, let me finish this piece of pomegranate. And then let's go into, I feel like there's one more here. Oh yes, going to sleep. How you go to sleep is also a big one. Okay. So, sleep. So this one should be pretty obvious, right? Because if any of you have had sleep problems, right? You wake up and you've only gotten like 2 hours of good sleep. Or not even good sleep. If you don't get any sleep one night, let's say you're sick, right? And you don't sleep, you feel like absolute shit the next day. Right? It's like 2 stacked debuffs, right? Sleep deprivation and you're sick at the same time. Right? So that's when you feel like absolute shit, right? I don't even have to explain this, right? You guys know, right? There's no way you're going to be, you know, doing your best work in that state, right? There's just no fucking way. Right? So if you want to do your best work, right? If you want to be successful, right? How to be successful. One of the principles to being successful, right? Talked about waking up, right? Spend your time in the morning doing shit for your spirit, right? Mindfulness, exercise, meditation, cleaning. And then, you know, you're probably going to eat after you wake up, right? So be careful what you put in your body. Do the research, right? Everybody's body is different, right? So you gotta, this one takes time, right? Especially if you haven't like been listening to your body, right? Start listening to your body, and then eventually you're going to find out what is good for your body, what isn't. And then contribute to the world, right? Make some sort of value, right? Increase the value in the world somehow, right? This can be going to work, right? Making money, that increases your value in one way, right? Improve on your goals, right? Make your goals more actually work on them, right? Like if you're building like a birdhouse for a bird, right? Start working on that. Make the blueprints, right? Start doing that, right? Make some sort of value. Make it real, right? Don't make it just in your head. Put those ideas, make those dreams into realities, right? So that's what I mean by having value, right? If you can do that, you're going to find success in life. This is probably going to be the biggest one for success. At least that's what it feels like. But if you don't do the other ones, then you're going to be empty. That's what's going to end up happening, right? You're going to become one of those rich billionaires, right? You're going to be super successful in life, right? Because you're constantly adding value to your life, but they miss out on the other steps, right? They don't take care of their spirit, their food, you know. But usually they have a good community as well, right? Because money attracts people. So they usually have these filled out, but they're missing. Maybe they even have a personal chef and whatnot. And, you know, if they have someone that takes care of their mind, they probably teach them to do this as well. But you can clearly see people that are not taking care of all these aspects of life. You see them suffer one way or another. But when you see people do take care of these aspects of their life, if they fill all these check marks, they generally end up being happier. I'm sure there's research somewhere, but I'm going to speak anecdotally here because fuck it, bro. Community, sleep. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Sleep. Getting enough sleep. Enough sleep. Getting enough sleep. Getting enough sleep and going to sleep No, I think that will cover it. Getting enough sleep. Right? Because I wanted to add like going to sleep with the right attitude, right? But that's covered under getting enough sleep, because what I mean by that, going to sleep with the right attitude, right? You don't stay up until you're like, oh, now you're starting to doze off, right? You're falling asleep, right? And then you go to sleep, right? You don't go to sleep when you're exhausted. You go to sleep when you want to go to sleep, right? So if you got to wake up at 6 a.m. the next day, right? If that's the schedule you make for yourself, maybe I should write that in there, schedule. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do schedule. It's another important one. All right, 6 points. Schedule. We'll fill this out later. Let's go back to the other one. But if you have a schedule, right? You got to wake up at 6. You want to get enough sleep. You want to get, you know, you figure out whatever is enough sleep for you. Maybe it's 8 hours, maybe it's 6 hours, maybe it's 5 hours, you know. For everybody, that's different, right? But you figure out what is enough sleep for you, right? For me, I'm going to say it's 8. That feels like the right amount. 8 hours of sleep, right? So if I want to wake up at 6, that means I have to go bed at 10, right? What if it's 10 o'clock and I'm not even tired, right? How do I go to sleep then? Well, then I don't, right? I would stay up, then I would get tired, and then I would go to sleep. Maybe it's midnight by then. I would only get 6 hours of sleep, right? Or I could sleep in until 8, but then I've broken my schedule, right? And therefore my balance is already broken. So if I want to maintain that balance, I got to learn how to go to sleep when I don't want to go to sleep, right? That's a very big one, boys. That's a very big one. And it's not as hard as you think, actually. Well, that's not true. It is hard, but eventually once you learn it, once you learn how to do it, then it's not hard. But, you know, that's kind of fucking forehead, right? It's hard to learn something until you learn it. Once you learn it, then, you know, you're golden. But that's why I didn't want to add 2 points. Getting enough sleep, right? Getting enough sleep means you have to, like, have that schedule, right? Because if you don't have that schedule, then you're going to, you know, either you're going to break the schedule or you're not going to get enough sleep, right? And both of those are not good, right? You want to maintain the schedule and you want to get enough sleep. Principles. I found the word guidelines. It's not principles. Guidelines. That's the word. Guidelines. Guidelines to success. Fuck yes. All right. Getting enough sleep. So what does that look like? E.g., let's line these up. Look lined up to me, right, chat? This one and this one lined up. Looks lined up. So getting enough sleep. So what does that look like? Following your schedule. Going to sleep while not sleepy. Following your schedule. Getting enough sleep. Following your schedule, right? Your schedule. That means your schedule. That means the individual schedule. It can be whatever, right? We cover that. Whether it's 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. Follow your schedule. Going to sleep while not sleepy. Yeah. So this is probably going to be the biggest one people struggle with, I think. Going to sleep while not sleepy. This one's very difficult to accomplish, in my experience. Some people are good at it, though, you know. But yeah. So those are the 6 steps. And this one, you know, learning how to do this one, going to sleep while not sleepy, this is where you do the research, right? This is where, right, we're just doing the principles right now. Do this and you will be successful, right? I think if you do all of these, all 6 of these, if you maintain your spirit, right? You spend time with yourself, with your mind, exercising, cleaning, etc. You do that for your soul, your spirit, right? That will lead to success, lead to happiness. Well, maybe it's not success. Maybe this is a happiness. How to be successful. How to be happy? Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, so spirit. Boom, you do this, you're good. Have a schedule, follow your schedule. Whatever that schedule is, I'll give you a routine. Food. You got to take care of this one, right? The fuel you put into your car determines how efficient the car runs, right? If you don't treat your car well, you don't treat your body well, it's going to malfunction. You're going to have problems. That's going to lead to stress. That's going to lead to failure or more difficult, right? It's going to be living like with a debuff, right? So if you take care of this, you're not going to be living with a debuff anymore. Then it'll be easier to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Value, right? Contribute to the world somehow. Go to your work, do a job, make money, whatever your goals are, make progress towards them. Put your ideas, your dreams, make your dreams a reality. That's what number 4 is. That's probably one of the most common talked about ones, like the biggest tip people give, right? Community, spend time with the people in your life, right? And this one is more of just being with the people, right? Being fully there, being fully present, right? Not thinking about how am I going to increase my value, right? How am I going to diet? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to be successful? How am I going to be happy? No, you are fully there with that person, not thinking about whatever you might be thinking about, letting go of that, letting go of your own thoughts, right? Let them go, and then be with somebody else's thoughts, right? So that will help you build up your community, you know, build up your social skills, all that good shit. And sleep. This one's a big one as well. If you get enough sleep, right? Did you recharge your battery, right? Think about that, right? Your body needs energy, right? It gets energy one way from sleeping, right? If you recharge your battery, boom, bada bing. Now you have a full battery, and now you can go longer in the day. You know, you don't have to rely on caffeine. That is like a temporary boost, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, other stimulants as well. That's part of the et cetera. But yeah, you get enough sleep, you recharge your battery, you're good to go. Yeah, and then one of the difficulties there is going to sleep while not sleepy, but you got to learn that one way or another. So is this the guide to success or guide to happiness? I feel like they go hand in hand, happiness and success. I guess this really depends how I want to market this. Do I want to market this as... Do you want to market this as guidelines that people should follow, right? If I market this as success, right? If I say this is going to attract more people that will want to be successful, right? Because if they read that title and they want to be successful, right? They kind of got like that ego or that drive or whatever you want to call it to be successful, right? And then I just give them these, you know, curriculum, follow this curriculum. Boom, you follow this, you're going to be successful, right? So that's good for those kind of people. But then I guess how to be happy would be, maybe that's on the understanding side, huh? Or what kind of people does this attract? This is going to attract people that aren't happy, right? Because they want to be happy, right? Therefore, they aren't happy. If they are unhappy, they will not be able to achieve these things. Well, it's not that they won't be able to. It'll be a lot more difficult for unhappy people to do things that would make them happy. So I think for them to be happy, it would be better for them to understand why they're not happy. How does this work? And then once they understand it, then they can take steps to improve it. Interesting. Maybe I make 2 YouTube videos, chat. Maybe I make how to be successful. All caps. How to be successful, right? And then this is just one YouTube video. Got to finish the schedule part. And then how to be happy, we'll do the understanding part. And we'll make that into a different video. Oh, I like it. I like it. All right. What have you guys been saying? Weed count. Okay. Geez, I need this. I was laying in bed last night with my eyes closed for 3 hours trying to fall asleep. Yeah, bro. I've been there as well. It's not easy, right? Just lying there and trying to fall asleep, but you can't. Sometimes it would take me hours to fall asleep as well. But that's where you got to like learn, right? That's kind of like the same with keeping a journal, right? You know, food journal, right? You watch what you eat, right? And also in a weird way, these are all connected, boys. These are all connected in a very weird, like spiritual kind of fucking way. But I'm going to try my best to explain that right now real quick. So spirit, right? If you can do these things, right? This will improve your schedule, right? Because you wake up, right? You spend time with yourself. That kind of increases your schedule, right? And you also put your mind like in a better state, you could say, right? So if it's in a better state, then you can already start improving on things, right? Like, oh, now I'm going to write down in my diary. I'm not going to just reach over and grab whatever, like as soon as I wake up. You're not going to listen to your instincts and just reach for whatever food. You're going to like stick to your plan, your schedule of eating good food, right? Contributing the value, right? You started the day off good, right? You got the ball rolling. You got some good food in you. You're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to do some more shit with my life, right? You do the value part. Right, after the value part, you spend time with friends or family or whatever. You play video games, maybe you have friends there. Right, you spend time with them, fully there with them, etc., etc. And then you go to sleep at the end of the day, right? And then these are all, they all bounce off of each other, right? Because the better you are at community, the better you are at communicating with people, the more likely you're going to be better at your goals, right? Because if you have a problem along your goal, like a hurdle, and you don't know how to get over it, maybe you communicate to your friends, right? You can communicate effectively what your problem is, and maybe they'll give you advice to how to overcome it, right? And that will give you progress, right? The sleep thing is the same with the spirit thing, right? You gotta have, good energy. I don't know how else to describe it. You gotta go to sleep, get your energy, refill your battery. All right. Anyway, fuck it. I'm getting distracted. I feel like that's enough for today. I think I'm gonna do we're going to finish the schedule part, and then we're going to do the understanding part on another stream. How to be successful and happy. How about that, boys? How to be successful and happy. No question mark. Success. Guidelines to success. Guidelines to happiness. No. No, I don't know. I feel like the happiness part, I don't know. We'll just do that for now. All right. Anyway, what were you guys saying? 3 days of sleep, hard time going to sleep. Yeah, you'll figure it out eventually. I believe in you, bro. Falling asleep never feels like a choice. Good. Try and make it a choice, bro. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Make a food journal, right? I was talking about food journal. That's what I was saying. I remember what I was saying. Make a sleep journal, right? Write down how much you sleep, right? As soon as you wake up, instead of like when you wake up, here's what you should do. Look at your phone, check what time it is, write it down wherever, and then let go of your phone. And then spend time with yourself. Boom. Right? Write down what time you go to sleep. You know, it's kind of hard to write down what time you go to sleep because, you know, you don't really know, right? You don't know, oh, I went to sleep at exactly 11:34, right? If you can do that, well, then you kind of already learned how to fall asleep if you can fall asleep on the exact minute or remember it. But yeah, you know, give it like, you know, oh, I fell around 12, right? And then you woke up at 8:30, right? You got eight and a half hours of sleep. And then write down how you feel after that sleep, right? Because maybe you slept for 8.5 hours, right? And your back is achy, right? Maybe you feel like something wrong in your back or something. Like, write that down. Give that evidence there. And then write down how you feel as well. Do you wake up with energy? Do you wake up like you feel like you need more sleep? Do you feel like you slept too much, right? And then adjust it, right? That's when you kind of do the schedule thing, right? You make a sleep journal, right? You follow your schedule, right? You learn to adapt your schedule. You try new things, right? You slept for 8.5 hours. It felt like it wasn't enough. So you sleep for maybe 9 hours, right? Maybe you try a different posture, right? Maybe it's what you spend your time doing before you go to bed. You know, maybe you're in front of screens that, you know, imitate light, right? And that causes your circadian rhythm to be fucked up, right? Do the research, you know, find out what could fuck up your sleeping and which ways you can improve it. So there's that. And then, yeah, keep track of it. The only problem I see is that you're potentially asking someone to change a lot at once. The only problem I see is that you're potentially asking someone to change a lot. Yes. Yeah, this is, yeah. Right? So, yeah, that is definitely a big thing, right? Because you got to do all these things, right? Imagine you have none of these things, right? Imagine you don't get enough sleep, right? Your sleep is terrible, right? You wake up like shit. You feel like shit every time you wake up, right? It's a hard time going to sleep, whatever. Your sleep is not good, right? You're not good at being present with people in your life, right? It's hard to do it, right? You're not really doing anything with your life. You're like a NEET, you know, you're kind of just existing. You're not like contributing in whatever way, right? Your diet is shit, right? You're eating junk food. You're ordering out. You're not eating good, right? You don't have any schedule in life, no routine. You're kind of just on the wave, riding the wave. And then you don't do any of these things, right? You don't clean up your place. You live in filth, right? You don't exercise at all. You're kind of, you know, a little chubby. Maybe you're fat. Maybe you're really fat, right? And you don't spend time with your mind, right? So your mind is a mess, right? You know, you can't really control your mind. That's what mindfulness does. You learn how to control it. So let's say you have none of these things, right? And that's where you feel overwhelmed, right? If you want to be successful, you got to do all of these things, right? And I think that's what the first video I made for on YouTube, right? Check out my first video on YouTube. That's the one, how you overcome being overwhelmed. What did I name it? Let's find out, because I have no fucking clue. YouTube. How to be successful. No, that's live stream. Procrastination and how to tackle it. No, expectations of failure. That's the one. All right. So here, I'll put it in chat. So watch this YouTube video link. How to overcome failure. Right. This one will talk about the overwhelming feeling, right, and how to overcome that. So check that out. And then if you want to try these steps, right, you want to try these things to be successful, come back and then try them then. Right, because that's going to be part of the understanding, right? Because first you got to understand something, right? Because if it's overwhelming, you're like, fuck, I don't want to do it, right? It's too much effort. I can't do it, right? But if you can understand how these things work, right? And then you take baby steps, right? It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to do all 6 of these things and then be good at them all at once. Maybe if you're like, you know, 1 in a million kind of person, you get very lucky, right? You kind of just born to be successful, whatever. But not everybody is like that, right? Usually it's a slow, gradual process where you take steps, right? You're improving. You try one thing, you fail, right? Just like making this food journal, right? This thing's going to fail all the time, right? Because you're going to eat something, right? You're not going to follow. You're going to want to eat for your mind. You're going to want to eat junk food, right? Just like how I do it, right? All right, I got some fucking junk food here, right? This shit's not healthy. Walnut pound cake, right? Good shit, right? But not good for my body, right? So I'm already breaking one of the rules I've laid in front of you, right? But I'm not overwhelmed. Like, I am aware, like, these are the things I have to do to be successful, right? From my mind, right? And I'm sharing them with you. Maybe they're different for you, but this is what I think leads to success, right? Because you got to understand that as well. This is all being filtered through me, right? So this is what I think leads to success. And even if this is the formula for success that I think is true, I'm already breaking it. So does that mean I'm unsuccessful? No, it doesn't. I'm still successful even though I eat this, even though I'm breaking one of the rules to be successful. Right? And that comes from the understanding part. That's where I learned to overcome that overwhelming feeling. Right? Because I don't have to do these things perfectly, right? This is just like a guideline, right? Notice this, guidelines to success. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. These are guidelines, right? These are up to interpretation. You know, they can be not followed or followed, right? But at least try them. Try them and see if they work for you, right? And you don't have to do these things 100%. Like I said in the beginning, like some people do this every day, right? If you want to do this every day, do it. Eventually, you're probably going to get burnt out, right? And then what's going to happen? You're not going to do it. Right? You get burnt out, didn't work, oh, not going to do it. But that's like a trap, right? Because you overdid it. You did it so much, you did it every day, that eventually it was too much. But instead, where's the lesson there? The lesson there is that you don't do it every day because it's too much. Right? You balance it out, you decrease it. Maybe you do it 3 days a week. Maybe you do it once a week. Maybe you do it once a month. Maybe you don't do it at all. Right? But don't quit because you overdid it. Right? Because understand why you quit. Right? You didn't give it time to succeed, right? You burnt yourself out, right? You were expecting it to work, right? You got these expectations, right? That's the title of the failure. How to expectations of failure. That's what I titled the YouTube video, right? Because that's how you overcome that feeling of overwhelming, right? Because you expect it to work. If I do this, it's going to work. I'm going to be successful. But what you got to understand is that's not where success is. These things will increase the odds of success, but it doesn't guarantee it. So that's how I can eat this. I feel good anyway, bro. That's how I can be successful and eat pound cake anyway, bro. All right, let's finish this. Finish the schedule shit, and let's call it there. So schedule. Spend time with yourself when you wake up. Mindfulness, exercise, meditation, cleaning. Okay. So schedule, a routine. Create a routine that you can follow. We're going to emphasize the word can here, because sometimes you can make a routine that you cannot follow, right? Because your expectation is, oh, I have to do this 7 days a week. I have to be mindful. I have to do cleaning. I wake up, take care of my spirit, do this, blah, blah, blah. That's your schedule, right? I do all these things. Right, and part of it is making the schedule, right? I have to do all these things, right? But what if you can't do them, right? What if it's overwhelming? Then you can't do it, right? So this is where you got to be very, honest with yourself, I guess. You have to create a schedule that you can follow, right? Not one you think you can follow, one that you can, that you will. Let's do that. That you will. Create a routine that you will follow. That you want to follow. Okay, what's an example of this? Lined up? No, not lined up. That's lined up. Okay. E.g., examples of a routine you want to follow. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. What is there a song like that? Let's Google it. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. All right, no DMCA, please. Oh God, should I do it? Should I risk it? Oh, Calvin Harris remix. Oh, yeah. Who owns the music? Okay, fuck it. We're not gonna risk it. But whatever. Jokes aside, let's put a real example here. Oh, I really like it though. It's a good one. It's a good one. I like it. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. But that's a pretty good one, right? That's a pretty good schedule to follow, right? Like, who doesn't want to eat, sleep, rave, repeat? I've done that before, bro. Let me tell you, it's actually not for me, but it was fun while I did it. But that's the thing, right? You gotta do what your heart wants. Follow whatever you want to do, right? Because if you don't want to do it, then you're not gonna fucking do it, right? So make a schedule that works for you. Make plans. Make plans. Make plans with friends. What else is there? Make plans with friends. Create a routine that you want to follow. Schedule appointments. Etc. Okay. I think that's it. You guys got any questions? Anybody got we'll do a quick Q&A here before I fuck off. Ooh, we've been live for 2 hours. I think the first half of it was me running to the store to get milk, but hey. So we got the guidelines to success, and then next time we go live, probably tomorrow, we'll do understanding how these guidelines lead to success. I feel like we've touched on it today, but I want to go in depth and write things down. So, what do you guys got to say? So, if I'm successful, I got to eat pound cake. Got it? Yes, brother, you got it. My man. You can eat whatever the fuck you want and be successful, bro. That's the secret. For me, it's pound cake. For you, it's whatever you want it to be, brother. All right. I am a disaster of a person, but my general schedule is work hard, party harder. Hey, bro, if that's what works for you, fucking do it, bro. Work hard and then party harder. Fuck it. You know, the schedule doesn't even have to be like very concrete, bro. You can just leave it at that. Right? That's it. Work hard, party harder. That's your schedule, bro. Don't have to say any more. Though my definition of partying is 20 hours of video games. Fuck it, bro. That's fine as well, bro. You do you. Whatever works for you, bro. All right. So, GG boys. This was fun. I'm gonna make this one into a YouTube video as well. The question is, do I do two? I think we're gonna do 2 shorter YouTube videos. I think I want to make shorter YouTube videos because I feel like that's more friendly than having like 20-minute YouTube videos. I feel like, yeah, because I really want to condense the information, right? Because right now on stream I'm blathering a lot, right? There's a lot of context, a lot of anecdotes, a lot of stories that I share, a lot of random thoughts as well that just come into my mind, and then I go on a tangent. There's a lot of tangents, let's say that. There's a lot of tangents when I go live, but when I edit it, I can cut and edit the video to what I want it to be. And what I want the video to be, like when I would look up mental health stuff on YouTube, this shit was like 20 minutes long, bro. I'm like, I don't have fucking time for this. Let's go, right? Explain it to me in the shortest and the least amount of words possible. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to explain it in the least amount of words possible. Now, I'm not good with that with talking, but I can do that with editing. So we're going to do 2 videos, success, guidelines, and then understanding how those guidelines make you successful. All right. We'll aim for like, I want to say like 2-3 minutes. I want to make these videos short and sweet, you know? 2 to 3 minute videos. All right. Until next time, boys. Gigi. Oh, this new mic, by the way. Fuck yeah.